I want to share what I would call a blend between an energy healing technique and a somatic neural muscular biomechanical reintegration process. I don't really know what to call it because I just made it up, and so I'm trying to use the words that I feel like best match my experience of it. It's super simple. It also feels like if I were to talk to myself of 5 years ago about this, I don't know that it would make a lot of sense, and so it might feel kind of far out, but I'll just share it because I think it's pretty good, and see where the cards fall. So I experience, and I believe most everybody experiences, something of a spiral of tension in our body, where usually there's an imbalance on the right side, coming from the ankle, knee, hip up, and that will create certain areas in the back that then express with like the shoulder tension, jaw tension. And in my case, I even have my left eye is weaker than my right eye. And from what I've learned, it's most likely because I have an imbalance in how my feet are landing. And so there's sort of this chain of effect that spirals up the body. And if you have access to a knowledgeable body worker, they can usually kind of show you and position your body in a way, or if you just have really high body awareness, you can kind of feel like all of the areas that need attention, they kind of do that spiral. So something that I think is clear to see is that, at least from one perspective, the entirety of our direct experience is energetic. It's all sensation being interpreted through our different sense channels. And at the end of the day, it's something that moves and changes that we call energy, that we are experiencing as taste, touch, sound, smell, sight, thought, pressure, temperature, gravity, I don't know, whatever else. And on a somatic level, there's just like the sense of the geometry, the structure, the frame of like what I am as an entity, as a body. And if you meditate, especially with like a body awareness kind of meditation, then I think it's pretty easy to tune in and feel very clearly where there's kind of this innate map of where I feel tension, looseness, lightness, numbness, heightened sensation, pulsating sensation. And as you do something like body scanning, then you'll get very clear on how those feelings move and shift and flow and glow and contract and expand on their own, and in response to focused attention. And this is the important part for me. Hopefully I haven't gone too long to lose you. So I can feel this spiral in my felt sense of body energy structure, where if I close my eyes, my feeling of having a body is a little bit more cloudy than what it looks like, where there's like hard edges. And in that cloud of sensation, there's the spiral of tension. And I think it might be less effective to try to get rid of all of that tension through massage or release or whatever else. And I like the idea of finding complementary balance and integration of tension. And so with this, it's easy. I feel, sense, guide my awareness and the accompanying body sense response in a spiral that just goes in the complementary and opposing direction. This is the part that wouldn't make sense to me 5 years ago, maybe even less. But I'm trying to think. it's kind of the same thing of like if you close your eyes and you bring your attention to your hand in a way that allows you to know through feeling sense that your hand is there. And you can kind of feel a response in how the sensation becomes a little more emphasized, just that sense of like my hand is existing, and there's like the buzz or hum or however you describe it of your hand. And if you really focus on it gently but intently, you can start to feel like the pulse of your heartbeat, and the sort of vibration of the existence of a hand can become more and more clear. And there's a lot of things going on there, one of which is that blood flow actually increases in your hand. It will be directed by your attention in that way. And so in that same way, you can feel the ebb and flow of energy that is your body, and how it shifts in response to your attention, and how there are some areas that won't shift quite as easily. It's like it's a little bit more frozen or stuck. And so I think this is kind of the benefit of energetic oriented practices, is they help produce more flow, more ebb, more transition, and more change in our energy perspective of our body. And that stuckness allows for there to be like a more complete integration between parts, because if everything is fluid together, then everything can be very dynamic and alive and still connected. But if something closes up and freezes up in an attempt to protect, or out of a sense of separation or conflict, then even though it seems like becoming more solidified would enforce a sense of cohesion because it's not moving and therefore it's stable, since, you know, the nature of everything is that it's always changing and moving and transitioning. Just think about how temperature is constantly transitioning in us, out us, through us, and everything else. And so to find the right middle ground for all of our different aspects of energetic expression, so that there's at least enough flexibility, even if something is supposed to be more rigid, it has enough flexibility, like how a skyscraper needs that to be able to be firmly planted in the ground, but also able to withstand an earthquake. So let's see, recap on what to do. Again, allowing your attention, imagination, body awareness, like whatever the convergence of those three things feels like for you, you can move that through your body in a spiral that can both match and oppose the one that's kind of already there, of that kind of, like in my case, it just feels like stuck tension. And so you can move it in like parallel to or in sync with the whatever spiral or pattern of tension that you feel. And once you've got a sense of like what that pattern feels like, just reverse what you're doing so that you're creating the opposite side of it. I think it makes a lot of sense to do this while you're walking. So what you're doing is being integrated into natural movement and the brainwave state that comes with walking, where you don't have to like meditate your way into it. It just is a natural part of the mechanics of walking, that your body will relax and enter a restorative state, and that you'll start hitting alpha brainwaves and, I don't know, maybe something better, whatever that means. Let's see. Oh yeah, the last thing is make sure that you're breathing with your diaphragm. And I feel like, I hope it doesn't sound complicated. It's really simple once you're doing it, but I'm really trying to be clear about the simple thing that I want to share so that it makes sense and you can try it. I think it's really powerful, and it just feels like pretty fundamentally integrative to me. I've done a lot of different body therapy things, whether it's like applying outward physical influence to my body, or doing something internal like body scanning meditation or emotional release, or like an energy practice through visualization and yeah, things like that. So this to me feels like one way of tapping into what all of those things are trying to reach, kind of from the outside in a little bit, and this just feels very inside out. And so I think it works pretty well. I'm curious to hear feedback if anybody else tries it. This is very different for me to be posting a video to share something like this. So if you made it through, oh my god, the 10 plus minutes of it,